dudes I went to is the ones that was helping me fund the fishing program.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I can say their names: P.O., Frog. You know, the OGs that I grew up with. My brother Dedrick. I
Yeah,
went to
yeah.
them.
I mean, that's cool. Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, of doing like, because that's a mesh of the community. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
it shapes how kids look at the relationships. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, and you know, bruh,
Let
this
me
is this
say,
program.
like, proud I am of how proud I am of you, Pooh Man, because I didn't know all this what you're doing now. But I remember the names you just said: P.O., Frog, Boo, all of them. I grew up on 75th and Rosedale. Okay,
Yeah,
from
my
the age
hood.
of 14 on, and before that it was 84th and Hillside, across the street from Castle My Swimming Pool. Born and
Yeah,
raised there. And so what I remember is the effing with Dank song. You know, mobbing in my mom's down to the road, going to the sideshow up at Eastmont Mall, and you know, Mill Cedar skating ring and back.
yeah.
And you know, for lack of a better, you were the shit back. You know, you were the shit. And you know, much and mad respect. When I moved to
Thank
Sacramento
you.
about 15, 16 years ago, and I met Curtis, Dirty Weather 916, and we were talking, and he mentioned your name. I said, scratch the record. I was like, wait a minute. I know that guy. I mean, I don't know him personally, but I know that guy. He's a real stand-up guy. And yes, I do know him. So it's I commend you with what you're doing now, because for all of us on this panel, we all got a story, right? We all got a story. We all been through something, and our past mistakes don't define who we are. However, it's part of our identity.
Yeah,
We
it
have to
is.
go through what we have to go through to get where we are now. So it's not about the mistakes that you made. The bigger question is, what are you doing after? What are you doing after the mistake? What are you doing for your community? What are you doing for your family? And then
That's
another young
Let
man,
me ask.
you
Let me
brought it
catch you
out.
off.
Yeah.
Let me ask Molly, the quiet guy in the corner. Let me ask Molly, how you feel about so far what's going on music wise? Because I gotta bring it back to music. Because Molly, first of all, introduce yourself. Wait, let me make sure you unmuted. All right, can you hear me?
Okay. Or
Introduce
more
yourself.
like come back in. There's uh, I feel about what's going on now is it's just a lot of confusion and a lot of misguided.
Take your headphones off.
Yeah, you going in now, big bro.
Take your headphones off. You got an echo.
I can't even say, bro.
All right, we got muted. Got muted. You got that echo.
Look, hey, Dirt. I
So
mean, look at it like this. To go on what you asked the brother.
yes.
Until he can answer you. Bottom line is, bro, rap ain't nowhere near what it used to be. This music scene, bro, to me, it's just me. I think they demasculinize the black man. You know what I'm saying? I look at how all these rappers, how all the big names in rap, you know, like the Uzi Verts and the Young Thugs and all of these dudes, how they feminize them. And I mean, the record companies push that. They push it. You know what I'm saying? You can't take somebody like me, gritty and talking real stuff about the streets, and go get a $10 million record deal. You can't do that. But if you take one of these,
if I bet you if you wear you walk around and wear tight jeans with everybody. If you do records with these dudes coming up, because it's like working with like seeing talent. Because look at Gucci Mane.
Yeah, and he wasn't like that at first. When he came home from the pen, he started, man. But my whole thing was, I've had conversations with some dudes, and they got to think, bro. I got ready
let me
my
ask you
whole
this, though.
catalog.
But let me ask you this though. You say demasculization, but at the same time, all the music is about like killing and stuff.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
But no, I'm saying like with the violence, Do you see like the definition of masculinity is moved around, like it's shifted?
No, it's like this. They make it seem like it's cool to, like it's cool to be gay. Straight up. Let's keep it 100. And I mean, I spoke to dudes that have been offered deals, and they tell them, you got to dumb it down. You know what I'm saying? We like this song right here. Could you change this? Could you do this? And could you do the video like this? Record companies didn't have that much control when me and Short Man was stepping in the jive and these Sonys. They didn't want that much control. Something changed. You know what I'm saying? And now, you look at the kids.
They can control, but rap controls the kids. So in saying that, like a generation, like where do you think they lost? Because like, did they phase y'all out? Did they try to phase you guys out of rap?
Nah, bro. I mean, bottom line. I mean, I still go on tours. I still do shows all over the country.
I mean, like with the demasculization though. Like, did they try to phase? Like, man.
Oh, they did. Look, check it out. Like, I'm straight up, bro. You do not get the plays and the money that these youngsters get. You know what I'm saying? They didn't fade us out. That's their form of music. I don't even call that hip hop. I call that hip hop. That's not even hip hop no more. You know what I'm saying? They got their own lane.
Hey, Pooh, I got a question. So you say demasculization, and do you think that it's coming from these labels, these companies are using the artists to promote their own agenda?
Exactly what I'm saying, Fahim.
So you come up in there and say,
what I'm saying.
You come up in there and say, hey, I'm hard, like young brother saying, I want to be hard. I'm promoting the gun violence. I'm promoting the drug stuff. A lot of them dudes, not even from where they perpetrating representing. A lot of them can't even go up in there because a lot of them, you see, they get robbed, they get their stuff taken from them, so they're not really who they saying they are. So you got these big companies say, okay, go put the dress on.
Yep, same way they did comedy.
Right, so act like someone else. So you become your true self become a show.
I mean, it's like I say this. It's like front, and you know the theory of like front stage and backstage, right? So front stage is like the front you put on to the world, and then backstage is like who you really are when you kind of let your guard down. So a lot of it is like it's a blurred line that if you in character so much, like a lot, like when you say you have to go to these places because we'll give you money, and it's like you have to go to that city. If you as a rapper, you got to prove that you can go
like independent rock music
in these different areas and stuff like that. You know,
I mean,
you can't move away. Like gold is not to move away. Like you have to tap into that identity. You know. Like
okay, perfect. Look, perfect example. Perfect example, y'all. I did a show when I first came home. This is about 2 years ago. I did a show with in San Jose, and Young Thug was performing. When they came in, bruh, when they came in, he was dressed, mobbed up, big chains on, and everything. When this dude came back out on stage, bro, he had on the Hooters half shirt.
You leave in skinny jeans?
Huh?
Did you leave in skinny jeans?
he had on some skinny jeans and a Hooters half shirt, bro. Now this it's funny, but it's sort of not because there was a lot of youngsters there, bro. Yeah. And then if you look at the way things change, look at Willow Smith, look at Jaden Smith, look at how all these kids are following this, man. It's okay. Now they saying they don't identify as male or female. When did black people, keeping it 100? When did black people do that?
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
So that go back what Marty was saying earlier about that go back to the disconnect.
Yeah,
about the man not being there to pair roles. Now you have these so-called men acting more feminine than a woman. So now the roles are switching. You got the women acting more masculine than the men and telling these dudes what to do. And then the women ain't even checking these so-called men. Hey man, Young Thug, what you wearing that skirt for? Hey, so well, you can't walk out here looking more woman feminine than I am.
Yeah. But then you look at we talking about it. Look, we talking then peep game. We talking about it, but then look at the effect it's having. Period. All not just in hip hop, but in the world. Look at the from the pills to the syrup to all of that. Everything that rap, everything that the music promotes. Look what it's doing. You know what I'm saying? Look what's happening in Sacramento. It ain't only Mozzie fault. It's a drug problem, bruh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Them dudes is smoking Xannies, them dudes is sitting lean, they doing all kind of drugs. And then you look at Texas. Texas is a mirror image of Sacramento. It's the
Damn.
same thing going on.
So it goes all the way back to the big homies then. Where the big
Yeah.
homies at?
In
But
prison.
exact. So therefore, okay, now a lot of them in prison are there, right? But we still got so-called street representatives. I've been going 31 years, right?
31 years.
Now, I've been going 31 years. 5 days out of 6, I'll go back to my neighborhood, talk to cats out there. They out there doing whatever they doing. Pick that. You selling dope? Have somebody pick the trash up. I can't tell you what to do. You got guns.
Yeah.
Don't got nobody. Gonna looking for nobody. You know.
Yeah.
Hey man, sorry to interrupt you, OG. But
money. Is it about music?
I know it.
welcome home.
Thank you.
Music first or money first? If it's money first, you can do whatever the fuck you want for it, right? Money. That's all you want to chase is money. You're gonna change your style. You're gonna change your sound. You're gonna put on skinny jeans. You're gonna blast this neighborhood. You're gonna blast that neighborhood. You're gonna get paid, right? But if you're a true artist, you care about your music. You care about the style. You care about your whole step up. You know what I mean? So I think that's where that comes from. People change their ways,
look,
which
I agree. But when you offer a 22-year-old kid $10 million, bro, that's money they've never seen. We offer a 22-year-old kid $3 million. That's money they ain't never seen. They're easily susceptible.
Totally unacceptable. But that kid's gonna tell them whatever he wants them to say for that money. You'll say, "Paint my face fucking rainbow, and the hair and all that shit."
I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be in that position because ain't nobody ever offered me that much money.
Right.
Look, check it out. When we got ready, when I came home, now you got to think. My catalog is 618 songs.
Right.
It's more now, but when I came home, my catalog was 618 songs. I went to Universal. Universal kept trying to talk to me. So I went and sat down with the dudes from Universal. They came out, they came out here, sat down. They wanted to buy my catalog, and so buying my catalog, give me a 2-year deal. Okay, I'm looking at them like a 2-year deal, and what you gonna give me for my catalog? 1.3 million. Now, y'all, today's economy, I have 9 kids and 15 grandkids.
Damn.
How many shows is that? How many shows is that?
Huh?
How many shows is that? How many
the
shows
top
is
was
that?
good, man.
I can't hear you.
How many shows?
Hey, the
was
rap
that?
game was good to you, man. It sounds like.
Well, bottom line is, how many
A
shows
lot
is
of
that?
these kids
How
are
many
already
shows is that?
born
Like, for the
with the
contract,
talent,
for that
with the
gig,
gift.
No, it
20
wasn't.
With the-
It wasn't shows. It was a 2-year deal, and they were gonna put me on tour with some people, and this, that, and the other. But I'm married to a financial genius. She got a master's in finance. So me and her went home and talked about it, and she came back and she said, "Do you know, by the time they're 18, you'll be made that on your catalog alone 4 or 5 times."
I'm just trying to understand the differences. Like, I'm in a punk rock scene. Like, my nephew, he's a sound engineer for a club here in Sacramento, and he puts on gigs. He makes tapes for rappers and hip hop guys, but he makes his bread and butter when he fills the small clubs on the guys that travel from fucking city to city.
Yeah, I mean, I still do
They
shows.
barely make anything. Sometimes they go in and make $50 a night because 5 people showed up. You know what I mean? But still
See, we do when we go out. It's like I just came back. I just did Milwaukee. I didn't just come back. I did Milwaukee. I did Chicago. I did Indianapolis. We did it, man. We did it. Well, where else did we go? We hit it, man. We hit a couple of states. Me, Yuck, Sibo, all of us. Okay. I mean, right now it's a lot of venues for that right now. They want the OGs because when you bring that you got OGs who want to listen to music. They don't want to listen to that. They want to hear us. So lately it's been before this COVID shit dropped down on our heads, we was going out and getting it.
Yeah. How would you make your money though? You guys weren't really selling merch at shows. It was all about the tracks.
I mean, we sell merch. We take merch with us, but I'm not stepping on stage for less than 10 grand. That's not gonna happen. I mean, that gold and that platinum plaque gave me a level.
Question though. You sound like you had a perfect opportunity. The stars lined up, right? You already had the gift, the talent, and the ability. You had the opportunity, though. What about those kids right now that don't have the opportunity, but have the gift, the talent, and the ability, who don't have the role model at home, daddy in the home, and the mama got to masculine herself up, try to raise a boy to be a man, and can't really do that effectively. And so they look to those who are in the streets and trying to come up on that opportunity, and they end up in the streets, on the streets, and you know what? From there.
I feel you, but
so what are we doing for the youngsters?
I'm going to tell you right now. Through my program, I just did this. We did this right before this COVID thing started. I told everybody to write me a song. All my boys, write me a song. If you want to be a rapper, write me a song. So I knew about 4 or 5 of them wanted to be rappers. I found one of the coldest little boys that produced. He ain't little though. He like 6'3" and he about 14 years old, and he is a damn savant. Okay. I'm putting him on a song with Jay Stalin. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving him this. I'm giving him that. I'm put him in the studio, let him do a single with Jay Stalin, him and Jay Stalin. I'm actually doing a whole album on my kids, and that money go to them. You know what I'm saying? If somebody want to pick them up, I don't own it. I'm not signing nobody to no contracts, only agreements that if they get ready to go into agreement, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let them get done. They can deal. They can go talk to my attorney. But I mean, that's a good idea. It's a good question because you got a lot of kids out here that's talented as hell. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have that. But you know, I try to make a way for every one of mine. My program consists of about 380 kids. Okay,
that's a lot.
We're at 5 different schools in Oakland. We got different chapters. We every Saturday, but we every day because they can call me at 2 in the morning. He ain't acting right. I'm gonna get up out of my bed. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. It don't just stop on the door. It don't just stop on Saturdays. You know, I have parents call me, telling me, "Pooh, man, you need to come talk to this boy. He drive me crazy." And I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go talk to that boy. You know, it's as simple as that. I didn't have that father figure. You know what I'm saying? But you can come to my program and ask any of the mothers. Pooh, man got about 47 kids. They know. I love me just as much as I try to save them. They save me.
That's what's up. So we gotta go back to Fahim one time. Did you hear that man did 30 years? Hey Pooh. Pooh, you know we did time.
Yeah.
When the motherfucker say he did 30 years.
My 16 sound like 3 now. I ran across each other. I mean, but it's a trip, man. I didn't know you had been gone that long, Fi.
Yeah, 31 from the age 17 to age 48. And I want to tell these youngsters out there, you know, today that it ain't nothing to brag about. The street life ain't nothing to glorify. Because I'm telling you, Bert, you was there with me. We all have been through it. And these youngsters, they catching these cases. They doing all this stuff behind the music. I know the topic is, you know, what's going on with this music and stuff right here. And so what I see is happening is that the money is good, but the structure and the foundation behind it with the checks and balances are not there. And so what's happening is that they catching these cases, they picking up these guns, they telling on each other, they going up in there and never coming home, or they doing 20, 30 years, all their money going, the lawyers taking their money, the accountants working about their money, everything, and they can't do the time. So before you even think about trying to go to a county jail or get on that Grey Goose and get a chain gang, that's what happened. Think about what you're doing out here in these streets. And you know, look at my story, look at many people's stories, men and women who done had to do time behind this foolishness. My crime, it was senseless. You know what I mean? 2 people died, 2 people was injured. And I hate what happened, and I hate because it's always a ripple effect. You take someone's life, you hurt someone, you got the parents, you got the mothers, you got the fathers, you got a society, you got a community which you destroying. You know what I mean? And I got to take fault for the things I have done. And so like in Pooh Man, since I've been home, I started a nonprofit. It's became a nonprofit now called Motivated to Others, Mind, Body, and Soul. But I wrote the program out while I was in Folsom before I came home in 2014. So I took it to the streets. So when Bert called me this evening, I was at the Richmond Arena, mentoring the youngsters. I use fitness to connect with the community and the youngsters in the society. My fiance, Keisha, she have a team where they giving to the homeless and giving to the needy. They're adopting kids and families for the holidays. And so, so it's all like the sister was saying, it's all about giving back. Okay, we know what we have done. So now, what are we doing now as a change? Because people can just talk about what they're saying, but it's all about doing. So it's all about coming back out here and putting back into the communities to the things that we messed up. I go talk to these guys out here who still been out here doing their things and say, listen, okay, disconnect. We'd have had an education about finance. We'd have had an education about real estate. I'm not a real estate agent, but the same principles that we use growing up in a dope game, we can use the same hustling, whatever we're doing. We use those same principles, but use them in a positive manner. Go back and buy stores up. Go back and help build. Go back these empty lots. Let's clean them up so we can refund the money back in ourselves and create things for the children. What's coming up now? These 5, 6, 7-year-olds who glorify the drugs, who glorify all the money in the rap and the music industry, and so on and so forth. And as Pooh Man was saying, so they won't have a false identity crisis. They know they are. So we got to encourage them to read books. Put back the books. Everybody book is this now. The phone.
It is. It definitely is.
Everywhere. And then if we could just encourage 1 or 2 kids to read 10 minutes a day, you know you're doing something. But have them read something and ask them, what did you just explain it to me? Ask whatever it is. So we have to start somewhere just to show that we're there.
Yeah.
Even if it's 10 pages a day. Because we was inside, we had to do that. So we still can take those same principles out here and utilize them things, and then we don't have to go to outside entities to help correct our change, to help correct our the things we've been through, because we know what we need to do. I don't care if you're black, white, brown, purple, whoever you are, we still need to come together with collective thinking, with a good understanding, so we can help each other and help the people of the world. That's what my stand at.
So let me ask you this, because I know y'all, like, we talk about the music and we talk about hearing what music they're playing. So when y'all hear, like, when you hear the music and you hear about murdering and killing in the music, and you looking at these 17-year-olds and you know that they're not like that, but that's the image that they think it takes to make it. How do y'all talk to them? You know what I mean? Because a lot of these teens aren't doing these things. Like, the majority aren't out there doing these things. It's a lot of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. To that question. When I listen to Mozzie, let's go to Mozzie, because we talking about hip hop and everything. Let's and I've never been quiet about how I feel about that. You know what I'm saying? You got to do.
No, but hold on. Before you get on like a big star, I'm talking about like these kids, because
that's what I'm talking about.
They're gonna do what they do to get the money, but the kids that are like imitating it.
Could I tap in real quick? Like, I don't think so much about the music content itself. Like, that's all storytelling and drama. It's like NWA used to tell, like, it was just all about just telling stories and stories in the hood. What I see the kids, though, I got in an argument with a dude sort of on a channel that was supposed to come on tonight and talk. And I said, you know what? You're out to join and you want to talk to kids about not making the same mistakes you do, but you rep the C. But your swagger, you're rocking your C hat like this, and the way you speak, like, that's all appealing to the young kids. That's what makes the gang life appealing, is the get down, the dress, the lifestyle. And hearing an old head say, like, kid, you don't want to do what I did, and he's still looking cool as fuck with the cool ass swagger, it's like, man, do I really need to listen to this guy? So it's not so much about the music and the note; it's the whole get down. It's the whole, you know what I mean?
It's not so.
It's like the old Italians in the old Italian suits.
Yeah, let me say. I gotta say something to that, because a person can dress and become stereotype. So it's all about a person's actions, and what comes out their mouth. A person might look at me, I wear my hat. But if you can relate to these youth, if you can relate, it's all about being able to relate to them and understand. Because if I see a youngster who glorifies shooting, glorifies drug dealing, glorifies killing in the music, I can't just go up to him with a suit on and say, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" I might be the one getting shot next because that's the attitude they have now. So when I look at what I'm got, I gotta look at myself inside it. How can I approach these guys? How can I approach these young sisters out there? So I have to come with an approach. I might gotta use a little swag for some approach because they gotta, as you say, they gotta be able to feel you. They gotta be comfortable with you. If they're not comfortable with us, they're gonna be standoffish like they are now. And then how they gonna feel? Are they being judged? They're being criticized or ridiculed because they stand for something when no one else know or understand what they standing for. So we have to understand what these kids are standing for. So if we look at them in the next show, but we'll never connect with them. And like the brother said, that we're gonna stay disconnected with them, just like our parents were disconnected with us. So
and right. Fine. This, check it out. I dress. Right. I mean, I dress. Bottom line, when the kids see me, they got to know that you can dress like this too, and be positive. You ain't got to dumb down the way you dress. You ain't got to tuck your chain or put your ring or dumb it down to go talk to these kids because they're not going to respect that at all.
Right.
They're going to make you fake it too. Because we'll come out your mouth.
Yeah.
But the lifestyle is flossy.
I mean, the lifestyle is flossy, but I don't do it no more. I mean, I can floss.
It's attractive.
Look. My thing was I came home and I never understood why people wore hella chains on their neck. I never understood it because from my era, I mean, you did it, but at the same time, you gotta know it's people looking like I could just snatch that chain off his neck and change my life. I never understood it.
Jury have become a status symbol now.
Yep.
It's all about status.
Man, they know what VVS is. They know the diamonds. They know everything now. That's a VVS and all this. Yeah. But my whole thing that I was going with the Mozzie thing was these dudes get all this money, man. All this money. And then they make videos taking guns back to the hood. Dropping off choppers to the hood. They go spend their money dropping off choppers and money in the hood. Bro, that's one of the stupidest motherfucking things I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, it's political warfare though.
It's one of the most destructive things I didn't see these dudes do, and I that made me not, I like Mozzie music, but once I seen him, that, and just the same way with my boy King Von, I like King Von, but when he dropped off all them guns and that money in the hood, man, I'm like, you pushing it, you pushing genocide, bro. You know what I'm saying?
The young brother just said political warfare. Where's the politics at? You said political warfare. Where's the politics? Because in politics, you got some type of structure. You got some type of leadership in politics.
There's no structure. There ain't no structure.
Okay, let me ask you this though. Okay, if people are still using the title of OG, then there has to be some leadership. It's some bureaucracy, right?
What does OG mean? Old goat?
I mean,
what is
it's a term of, that's what I'm saying though. It's a term of respect. Like, who do you respect? Like,
it could mean like one brother OG told me, outstanding gentleman. No term.
Yeah.
Be an outstanding gentleman. You gotta be original gangster. Let the original gangster.
I mean, but at the same time, but it depends on how you use. I mean, I look at original gangster.
Say it again. It depends on how you utilize it. So therefore, if you become the outstanding gentleman, approach them from a gentleman's standpoint. Approach them from a man's standpoint. I stand for the understanding and who wants to project change. See, a lot of these, now we go back to the OGs, right? A lot of OGs out put their hands out trying to get some money from the youngsters. So the youngsters controlling the OGs. They can't go back up in there and tell them dudes what to do. If you're the OG, now let's go back to the original gangsters. If you're the OG, you can go back to your hood and stand on the block and say, this is what we about to do now. Now we finna change it for the better. See, if you're the OG, let me show you something. I've been going for a long time, right? I put up a picture just last week where I was at, talking to the young on the block. But change them or buying up homes. See what I'm saying? Because people talk it, but they ain't produce. You can't be. A lot of them can't even go back to their own neighborhoods and stay what they do. If they do, they out there looking for a handout.
True story. True story. Hey, Pooh, what was it like coming home for you?
I mean, you know, I lost my mom and my dad while I was gone. You know, got a divorce. Hadn't seen my kids in 6 years. I mean, it was emotional as hell to me. You know what I'm saying? I walked out to a world where my mother wasn't in it no more, and that, that was my road dog.
Yeah.
And then I had to, readjust to everything that was around me. And when I seen everything that was going on, how the youngsters was acting, and carrying themselves, I was like, especially my family members, the youngsters in my family, I was like, nah, I can't go for this. So I had, I stepped in with my nephews, my sons, and them. I still, bro, if I said, I still go to the block. You know what I'm saying? I slide through all of the blocks, whether it's 71st or whether it's 100, up on that, or it's in the north, wherever. I got folks that I slide through still. Everything changed, bro. When I came home, it was like Oakland seemed dead, bro. It seemed hopeless. It was a lot of murders, bro. You look at it like this. I came home, bro. 20 days before I came home.
I'm talking to the youngsters in the neighborhood.
Look,
this just last
20 days before I came home, my niece was
scared to go back. About buying property.
20 days before I came home, my niece was murdered. You know what I'm saying?
You said 20 days your niece was murdered?
Yeah, 20 days before I came home, my niece was murdered. She was killed in San Francisco. Then I'm home, and my little cousin, a 24-year-old man, slide up and killed my little cousin over on Brookdale. 3 days later, my great nephew got the back of the head out of scrumping the heel. Bruh, I got hit with so much shit, and it was a test. Because I was pissed, I was hurt. I could have went back to doing what I did. Because that it pushed me that way.
Yeah.
But chose another way. You know what I'm saying? I ended up going into the studio. I ended up doing the song "No More Tears." I ended up trying to start moving because that shit was hitting too close to home.
Yeah.
And I don't know, bro. I mean, since I've been home, I seen too much. I look at these kids, bro, and a lot of them still, even though they're wearing these chains and they driving these cars, they don't hustle like we hustle. The new hustle is robbing and stealing, and they going to do that and get their heads blew off by who they going to rob and steal. These weed places. These kids don't have. They hopeless, bruh. I mean, you just got to talk to them sometimes. They looking for a body. When a kid tell you, yeah, man, I'm trying to get a body, and holding up a pistol and you looking at him like a body.
Yeah, Sacramento, we never really got down like that, though. You know what I mean? Like, from what I remember, I don't know if you guys ever came up to the Citrus Heights. We had the cruise back in the early 80s or the late 80s and early 90s. And there was a blood crib shit going on then. There was a little bit of shootings and killings. There's always a misunderstanding. You know what I mean? There was some dude who had a squirt gun at a Burger King and then they got clapped out or whatever. Then there was neighborhood beefs, but it's like Dirt said, like Sacramento, it's never been like LA has it.
Okay, so speaking of, and Fi and Pooh, y'all the perfect ones to answer that. Why did gangbanging never hit the Bay Area?
We wasn't having it. Oh, they tried. They tried in Oakland. The Crips came out here in '87, and they came to Oakland in '87. They started a spot over on 80-something below East 14th. We got together, certain dudes from certain blocks, and ran them out of here. We wasn't letting them set up shop.
That's what you know. That's the story I be telling. When the people be like, "It was gang members out there," I said, "No, them Crips tried to come to the Bay Area, and that was all she wrote."
Yeah,
you told the PG version.
Yeah, I didn't go into what. Now, I mean, bottom line is they posted. But I mean, it was several incidents, and one of the incidents happened at Kentucky Fried Chicken. They was in there, cuz blood throwing up, and disrespecting people, and 3 of them left out of there in body bags. I mean,
Man,
it's not. We
So
have
so
the Bay Area,
so like,
Richmond,
because you only hear
Oakland,
stories like.
Richmond.
Let me add to Richmond. Let me add to Richmond. Growing up in the late 70s, early 80s, we had one street called the Main, right? But it was called the Max, and the Max stood for Main Avenue Crips. So the original,
what?
see, that's what I'm saying. So the original of that, the Max, somebody came from LA years ago in this form, but it was called the Main. They used to wear the Max, Main Avenue Crips. I was a youngster.
Wow.
Now also a gang is just a group of people, 2 or more who hang together. Your best friends could be a gang, considered a gang. So people transfer a gang with just color. So let's really get the understanding of what a gang is. A gang is just a group of people. It could be non-violent gang.
That's true.
So, okay, now check this out. Back then, we had what was called Richmond Soldiers. We had Park Boys. We had Good Guys Wear Black. We had Hard Times. We had Sugar Hill, Foothill. We had Park Boys. We had even a gang called Black Clan. The backs back then. So, in Oakland, you had what was called Funktown. You had what's called Acorn Mob, right? Yes. Right. Oh yeah, 6ix9ine Village.
Yeah.
Yes. All those. So it probably wasn't blood and cripping. It probably wasn't color, but it was still neighborhoods and crews. It's still a gang. Okay, right. How you look at it, it's still a gang. Even if we probably wouldn't kill it and focus and fight behind colors, but it was still turfs, but we didn't own cocaine. Power.
When the colors he had that argument all the time, Fahim. You know what I'm saying?
When did red or blue come involved?
Say it again.
When did red or blue come involved over territory? You know what I mean? Like this street, Acorn.
Red and blue never really just came in the Bay Area. It was like
red and blue. I mean, you mean the actual history of red or blue? So history of the red or blue come from the Panther Party. It was 2 people who broke off from the Panther Party. They broke off together, 2 individuals. They got into it and it split. They were supposed to be upright. They were supposed to be vanguards in LA to take care of their own people, but it turned into something else.
Gang.
Wow. It turned into something else.
Hey, I did a video on the vanguards, so I'm pretty well versed about the vanguards.
Yeah. I mean, that's where all of it came from.
So that goes to shape. Fahim say it's still gang activity, but it's just the things that people were dying for was different. Y'all was dying for money and territory, while we was over here dying for a color.
Territory, but we didn't even own. It didn't even blow on us. Our corners didn't even own us. Some drugs and all this here, folk and all this, stuff was dropped down in our communities in the 80s.
Making someone else money.
Over senseless stuff, foolishness. Yeah. You know, not thinking, uneducated. So when I think back now, it's sad.
Yeah, I mean, but that was the plan. That was always the plan. I mean, when you look back at how the drugs and why the drugs came in.
Exactly.
When crack came, that was all a plan.
Yeah. What was the plan?
You know, they used crack cocaine to fund black ops.
Absolutely. Research Gary Webb. Gary Webb from the Sacramento Bee. They killed his ass, and he uncovered that whole Nicaraguan thing where they were bringing cocaine and crack.
Around country scandal.
Exactly. Yeah. And they clapped him out. They said he committed suicide, but he shot himself twice in the head.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I messed up. I'm bleeding a lot, though. Let me try again.
He caught 2 in the head, and they said it was suicide.
Yeah, but I mean, like, going back, I mean, to what we was talking about. I mean, I know everybody didn't pay attention to the news lately, and IG and everything, with all these murders with rappers going on right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's sad. That's hella sad because
that's terrible.
And then when you look, when Dirk called me to ask me to do this, I said, brother, let me do some research on it before I get on here. You know what I'm saying? And I looked at y'all. Sacramento was what y'all at 35, 37.
murders this year?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's up there.
Y'all was at 35 yesterday. 35 or 37, something like that.
We ain't that big of a city, even though we're capital. We ain't that big.
And then you got Oakland that's at 68 or 70 by, you know what I'm saying? And
that's rough.
Then I just trip on it because we always talk about, man, we go to hell, man, we go to hell and back when a white cop kill a black man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's get it. But we don't do shit. We don't protest or nothing when we killing each other.
Man,
that shit is killing me. Right?
I mean, because the street protest itself, though.
Retaliation. That's a protest. Retaliation.
Yeah, the street protest itself, though. You know, I mean, there's no protest against the cops. The cops do what the fuck they want. And they get away with it. There's nothing we can fucking do other than what we do now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got to start doing something. We got to come up with something as a people, man. Because this right here, for us to remain quiet is wrong as shit.
Right. Absolutely. We have millions of people. We have millions of people that don't even want us to march and protest. They want to take that right away from us. They call us that we're fucking bad Americans because we want to be against fucking cops and all that.
I'm not talking. See, you talking about being against cops. I'm talking about being against us.
No, I understand that, but like
protesting, I'm talking about protesting the killing of black men on black men. This shit is getting fucking ridiculous. I mean, it kills me every time I see somebody, you know, like the incident with Breonna Taylor. You know what I'm saying? We'll protest that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll protest that. We'll go all in.
Okay. Explain this. There was a black man hung from a basketball court across the street from my house. Hung. I can't, man. Every time I try to explain how a person can hang themselves from a basketball rim, I come to nothing. And he got no national coverage.
Right. You know what? I would just think about something. We see when all this so-called cop killing. It really became big news when how many years? The last 10, 20 years?
It's been going on.
Right. I'm saying, but just the big outcries now. How long has that been?
Social media. You gotta start with social media. Social media.
Okay, so we said if we start with social media, now when did we start focusing on the Instagram, the YouTubes, and the Facebook, and what's going on in the hip hop industry, the entertainment industry? So what I'm saying is that we took our focus off the real problems, the real situations, and then all this other stuff started taking place.
That's what they do. That's what they do. When something going on with us, a lot of the media push something else. The media push something else to drown out what's going on with black people.
So we got to
like a bait and switch.
Like the sister was saying, we got to take it back to ourselves. We got to correct ourselves. Start in the homes and taking it to the streets. We have to.
That's what I was just getting ready to say.
Start at home. What's going on? Because a lot of these parents are acting worse to their children.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So the children are controlling their parents these days.
We got to build up our community. We got to build up our community. Bring back the boys clubs and basketballs.
How many community centers we got inside? I had to just call Richmond Public Works Recreation a couple of days ago about them turning on the lights at one of the places where I hold my fitness program. So I come out here after all these years, have to call the place to turn the lights. You know what? They turn the lights on in less than 48 hours.
Right. Now we got no YMCA no more. We got none of that stuff. People who've been out here boxing or no skills or even education wise.
I got a quick question for Pooh Man. Hey man, all these years later, man, did Kane really die in Minnesota, man? Did he live or die?
Nah, he didn't. Bro. I'm on the. I just spoke to Tyron, man. He good little dude, but they tried to do it. They allegedly trying to do another one. You know,
another Menace to Society.
Yeah, they trying to do another one with the little boy Anthony, the little boy that played Anthony. They gonna make him the lead character.
Man, make me the lead character. I need to be.
There will never be another old dog.
Hey,
but they trying to make Anthony lead character, the little boy
I
in
mean,
it.
but you know what? Old Dog is somebody who comes home after 30, 40 years. I mean, is he not? Like, that's Old Dog sitting over there on the other side of the screen. 30 years later, like.
As long as MCH Grand National's in it. Ooh, that was a sick car.
I want to see what they do, bro. I mean, me and my homeboy Free Jack, we just finished a movie.
Yeah.
Called Bylaws. I mean,
Baylaws.
We just did Baylaws. I'm gonna see what he do. I'm gonna see what Free want to do with that. But I'm dealing with a dude named Cameron Casey to do Bruce's movie, which is called $1 Million Block.
Man, so do you do? Do you? All right, so let me ask you this. Do you do anything?
What was it like?
What
was it like when Lil D came home?
I mean, like he came home. I mean, it was a trip. I grew up with D. You know, I was born in the 69th village. So our family, that's that. When they said take a village to raise a child, I mean, that's how me and D was raised. So we was kids. So I mean, my first time seeing him, it was like unreal. You know what I'm saying? My cousin Donald owned a barbershop, and I walked in the barbershop. And I heard somebody say, "Hey, boy," because his voice scraggly now. And I turned around and I looked, and it's D. You know what I'm saying? He still looked like Lil Durrell. Still look like Lil Durrell, a little gray, but he still like Lil Durrell.
Okay, so a lot of people only heard about Felix Mitchell. Like they only heard about it. Man, can you lace these people about who Felix Mitchell was and the relevance to New Jack City?
Felix Mitchell started off selling pills. He became one of the biggest drug dealers in California. You know what I'm saying? He bought Clark Gable's mansion, a young, skinny-ass black dude out of the 69th village. He was powerful. They based New Jack City, the movie, on the village. You know what I'm saying? And on Fee. You know, because the village was like that. You come in and just like the Carter. It was just like the Carter. A little cleaner than the Carter because Felix had several houses in there that worked for him. I mean, the whole village worked for him. And that's why a lot of kids grew up out of the village and wanted to be like Fee. That's why Durrell ended up being who he is. Because he followed after Fee.
It's like The Wire, the Barksdales.
Yeah.
So what was his funeral like? Just so people can get an idea, because he was the first and the only person I heard. I mean, he was the first. What was his funeral like?
Like a parade, bro. He had a horse-driven carriage. I mean,
thousands of people. He
had a horse-driven carriage, glass. It was glass and gold. Drove through go down Seminary, through the village, down East 14th, through the West. You know, he was like the fans was there too, though. The fans was driving.
So let me ask you,
of course.
Huh?
Because I heard about how big it was. Like when you say he got killed, like did the government do it, or was it like he was so powerful that?
They arrested a man for killing Felix, and later on he actually got out. He died. The dude who killed him actually died, but they said he killed him. Nobody believed that. Because I think the government killed him because he won the appeal.
Is that right?
Yeah, Felix. If you look it up, he won the appeal. They had to give his shit back. And
what were they saying? Like he was self-defense or something?
I don't know what it was, but I'm talking about the dope case.
Oh, yeah.
He won the case that they arrested him on.
So he would have got out.
He didn't win it. What it was is he was in the process of appeals and he got murdered during the appeal. They never found him guilty.
Damn.
So they had to give everything back.
Okay. Now watch this. Fahim, what do you know about Felix? And this is a whole nother city. Watch this. What you know about Felix?
What I know is that his image carried on through Richmond, through a lot of places in the Bay Area. And I remember that when he was killed, when he was killed, I was in the 9th grade. And I was going to when he was arrested, I was going to in the 9th grade, Ellsworth High School. It was a shockwave came to Richmond that Felix Mitchell was arrested. And at that time, I can remember that was a big thing. That was impactful at that time on the youth. So now everybody hearing about, but you heard about Phyllis Mitchell. Then you heard guys come out the end like Rudolph Henderson. Then we had in our town we had somebody named Peanut. So Peanut, he ran like Easter Hill at the time. You know what I mean? And so we have different factions up in there. So Peanut at the time and the people who was connected with them, they had big things. So basically, even though in small town Richmond.
Wait, Fahim, want to hear something crazy?
Yes.
Fahim, want to hear something crazy? Peanut, man, I'm gonna find this picture. One of my homeboys got a picture of Peanut and Fee.
Mm-hmm. They was connected.
We got a picture of Peanut and Fee. Because it's a book. You know they trying to do a movie on Fee and Daryl. Okay. So we was all together, and I seen that Richmond. They had Richmond Peanut on the picture. Right. It's a picture with them two together. It's him and a little fat Mexican boy on the picture.
Yeah, and so like when they got Fee, then you start hearing a shockwave come through there, and they start wrestling what was called the Peanut Gang. Start wrestling a whole lot of them too. So it just started coming through. Yeah, and I was at this time I was a young guy. I remember hearing about Peanut. He get chased in a Rolls Royce coming down Richmond, doing cocaine and powder down the street on a high speed chase. So you hear about this at 13 years old. What? You know what I mean? So you don't know too much, but I want to be like that.
That's how kids.
So you hear
that's how kids look at it too.
Kids, that's how it happens. That's how it happens. Yeah. You hear those stories.
That's how you hear the story.
And you got to think Oakland, Richmond, and San Francisco are the three most influential cities on the West Coast. I people trip on how Richmond is so small, but Richmond's small, but Richmond had a lot of big ballers come out of there.
Yeah. Richmond's small and it's big. Richmond's small and big. One thing about Richmond always took people in. Richmond's because a lot of people came from the South. So Richmond got big hearts. And one thing I can say, another thing about Richmond, the hearts and the love is so big, but when you step on that heart, it turns. You know what I'm saying? When we see Richmond implode on itself, Richmond killed its own. You know what I'm saying? We killed each other more than anybody killed us, and that's sad. That's sad. Down.
We gotta find a way.
And for it to be so small.
To be so small. Like we got one brother. What just separate the sides? You got tracks literally 4, 5, 6 block radius separate the South Side, Central Side, and North Richmond. Back then, I was able, you be able to go anywhere, kick it, hang out, shoot, whatever you want to do. But these days, you better not even get caught on different parts of where you from. It's a trip. As soon as the street light come on, you better get in.
So I got a question.
Hold on. Let me say that again. You better not get caught in different parts of where you from.
Damn. Absolutely. Because listen, I can stay on 4th Street, and then you have another side of 4th Street, like 4 or 5 blocks away, where it becomes Central Side. You better not go over there. Or just say this: you could be on one part of the South Side, and then walk 2-3 blocks on the same South Side to the store. You better not be caught with it because you consider out of bounds or the wrong side or with the so-called ops.
Somebody tried to start something big between Richmond and Oakland recently. Somebody tried to start something big between and I applaud certain cats from Richmond. You know what I'm saying? Because they came to us in regards to this. They was like, we didn't have nothing to do with that. When Keith got shot out there,
right?
They came to us. They came to Highland Hospital. Certain individuals came and was like, Pooh, we didn't have nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying?
When who got shot?
Keith.
Hold on. When who got shot?
Keith the Sneak.
Who is Keith?
The king of Hyphy.
Keith the Sneak. Okay, go ahead. You know it.
Some of my tight brothers, Muslim tight friends who I love dearly are from Oakland. You know what I'm saying? From North Oakland, West Oakland, and East Oakland, who I grew up and love from the pen to the street. We still tight to this day.
Yeah, and that's how it's supposed to be. It used to be like that. Then I guess the war with Lil Durrell and them separated us a little bit back in the day. But when Keith got shot, bro, I can say his name, Lil Rick and them from Central, they came and hollered at us, man, and they let us know that Richmond didn't have nothing to do with that. We actually found out what happened later on, but you know, I respected Lil Rick and them because without a doubt, they came to us real fast. And they did their investigation, found out what had happened, and we did our investigation, found out it was the truth. And that's how it's supposed to be. That type of leadership right now, you don't really see it nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm going back to everything we've been talking about, man. I mean, we got to do something. As a people, we got to do something. Because if we don't, we're going to lose a whole lot.
You know, and it's like, right, I agree. It's like this right now. Here's a, some people call it a platform. I like to call it a memoir, something we stand on and deliver the message. So while we're on this memoir, we can, it's a lot of views. Take these positive messages. That's what we have to do. And we can't depend on anybody else to do our job. You know, that's what we feel that we depend on other people to do the things what we should be doing and take accountability. Go back out, even if you just grab one person, you're doing something. You ain't gotta grab.
Well, I just told the chief of police out here this, man. My program is tight with it's OPD. Bottom line, the police out here, the Black Officers Union, they really go head over heels for these kids out here. So I was in a meeting, it's about 2 months ago, and the chief of police asked me, what can we do to stop this? Because we got a war going on out here right now. Mm-hmm. And like I told her, the answer to your question is in prison. These laws that you keeping these dudes locked up, we need them. There's certain dudes in prison that, the answer is the dudes who have done the 15 and the 30s and the 20s who did change their life.
Right.
This is the answer to your prayers. You know what I'm saying? Dudes like Fahim, dudes like me, dudes like Stone Ramsey. Dudes you can get to these kids don't relate to. You know what I'm saying? Because when I go talk to a kid, they know where I'm from. I'm from 72nd. They know about the robbery. They know about the dope. They know about the shootings. They know I don't hide nothing from them. And they go look on Wikipedia and everything, and they find, okay, yeah, he was into this. You know what I'm saying? And they open up to me. And it's crazy that they open up to me when they find out I was a real criminal. But I have a better relationship with them because they know I done been where you headed. I done been where your daddy is. I done been where your uncle at. I know him. You know what I'm saying? I know your dad. I know your uncle. I have a better relationship with these kids because of this. And the answer to these questions, the answer to the problem that's going on right now in Oakland and Richmond and Sacramento are the real motherfuckers from them cities. Not what they got right now. Not no damn rapper who's dropping off 10 assault rifles and $200,000 in cash. That's stupid, man. That's ignorant. That's genocide. You know what I'm saying? We gotta, man. It's gonna take us. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take us, and it's gonna take us to try to have some laws passed to get some of these brothers out of prison, bro.
And think about it. You're right, because a lot of guys, a lot of guys coming home.
Yeah, because the laws are changing.
Yes.
I'm saying if you guys the generation that you're talking about right now, the ones that's already teenagers, and you guys got your programs and the community centers, and you can reach these youngsters now, how can we reach the ones before they even get to the teenage youth, which are influenced by social media? Because now with COVID, social distancing, we're allowing the internet to babysit our kids. We're allowing social media
in regards to that, right? Go ahead. In regards, I got a real good friend of mine. His name is Maurice. And even before the COVID started, I started my program, and he's a good dad. We grew up together. He makes sure his two sons, Amar and Maurice, come to my program in the midst of COVID. So when COVID first hit, we never stopped. So we see other little kids, they come through, and some parents, they might bring them out, and sometimes they don't. So I believe is that you got all this computer stuff, all this virtual teaching and things like that. the parents have to encourage their kids get on up out of them. Now, you know what? No, let me step back. Not encourage their kids. Get your ass up. We going out here. We finna go do something positive. Not encourage them. Make them kids do something.
That's
See, that's
right.
what
And
we,
get
that's
on
what we
the
got to get
school
back to.
board.
We got to make
Get on
these kids do something.
the parents can get on the school site council committee and can make decisions about how the funds are being spent, what type of after school programs, before school programs are available. The parents have the right to be on the board, to be in those meetings. They don't send those type of notices out.
You know what?
So we got to make sure that they get out.
Right, and then the same token, one of the guys told me last week. He said one of his teachers asked him, "Okay, we finna do a little physical program." So the the kid, he said, "Hold on, I have physical activity every day after we do this virtual thing." They like, "Where at?" They like, "With motivation to help others, we come out there." So the teachers were shocked because the kids they getting tired, they picking up weight. So now they want to hear about the program, what I'm doing. So that's where it has to come. These teachers don't know because they don't really care. All they doing, turn on the computer and talk. I seen it before. All right, what's going on? But you need that real connection, that real interaction inside these classrooms because it's easy to act like you listen to something and turn around to a distraction.
Yeah. Who does? My daughter is 12 years old. She goes through online. She has to take 30 minutes out to go do physical education. Who does that physical education with her?
Exactly. Right. And then yesterday I asked the kid, I
said, to the basketball court and do it.
Right. So yesterday I asked one of the guys, I say, how was school? They said, oh, it was we didn't have school. What you mean when you didn't have school? This is Wednesday. I said, well, is it minimum day? Or it was cut short. I say, cut short how long? When they had a 40-minute class. Oh, here it is. On a Wednesday. They had a 40-minute class. I was mad. Because what you doing for the rest of the day? They just sitting at home playing PS4, PS5, not doing anything. Until it's time to come to my to my session. So these kids, so here it is. Now, if they get tired and slam that computer down and get tired of video games, and they don't have anything else to do, what's next? The streets. That's where they're gonna go to the streets, wherever their friends doing, or whoever can persuade them to do something other than what they should be doing. So they have to go back to the home, and then the parents got to hit these schools. What's going on? Get on these boards, school boards. We got to go on our city council members. We got to go on these men. We can't just be voting people in just because we like how they sound. We got to get on people who will be the betterment and the education for our people and for these children. That's what we have to do. We got to get on all those type of people and not just worry about what's going on in Washington, D.C., what's going on in Sacramento, what's going on in Oakland, San Francisco, Richmond. That's what we got to get back to. Grassroots.
That's right. We got a lot of parents that work and they don't have the luxury to be home with their kids while they're doing social media. So, while they're doing distance learning, they don't have the luxury. They got to go to work.
Okay, now, after work, we can't let work be the reason. Because after work, okay, what you learned today in school? We finna take this hour or two. What you learned in school? What you do in school? Crack that book open. Let me see what you learned. Let me make sure you doing what you're supposed to do in class. Let me just we have these kids. Now we got to sacrifice for our kids. We got to sacrifice for these children. Make sure they're doing the right thing. So we can't let work be the reason because we've been working before we had these kids, or we should have been working before we had these kids.
Yeah.
So and that's one thing about our people. We get caught up with the excuses. We gotta let these excuses go and make it happen. Everybody wear Nikes, just do it. I'm from the old school. Make it happen, captain. We all want to be captains, then make it happen.
Okay. Hey, all right. So we got to check. Let's change the subject real quick.
All right.
Because I know between you, between me, and between Pooh when he come back, that's like over 50 years of knowledge,
right?
From a different standpoint. So I need to know, man. Look, I did did 17 and came home. But doing 30 and coming home, I try to explain to people, like, there's some of us that come home and we like naturals. I don't know what it is, but we like naturals. How was it coming home? Like, how did you adjust to technology?
Well, when I was in the pen, I had a phone. So I was going to use my phone and
you would never let me use that motherfucker.
And you had to do is call to the 5th tier. It was cool.
Man, y'all was VIP up there on that 5th tier.
It was all good. So I was able to have a phone for at least the last 10 years. It was time for me to come home. I got caught with 2 phones. But I'd always told, this is a true story. This is what happened one time. One time I went to a visit. It was my mother and my grandmother. They came to see me in 2007. So I went to go hug my mother in the visitor room. But instead of me hugging her, I went to give her a dap and give her the shoulder. She stood back like, for real. So she stood back like, boy, what's wrong with you? I said, oh, mama, I'm tripping. She said, you better give me a hug. But I was so caught up in the pen, the politics, what's going on, going to Muslim service, going this, going that, just being a robot. So I had to deprogram myself, right, to get ready for the society, because I can't act like this in the society was constantly moving. So immediately I started deprogramming myself. Okay, I still pray 5 times a day, but I know I have to stay connected and have a keen understanding of what's going on in the society. So I use a cell phone, I use visits, I use a connection to the streets to help me be prepared to come back out. So when I came back out, so things were moving so fast, I came to the transitional home. So once I was in the transitional home for 6 months, I had to look, see what's going on, but I knew that wasn't for me. And they just, I just had a woman come my life. So she came in, she was just showing me everything. This is how you do this. This is how you, and I adapted so fast. With the banking system, I had my bumps and bruises on the way. I'm still learning, but as I learned, said my lessons became understanding. My understanding became wisdom through my experiences. So I adapted some new traits right out here, and it's been helping me ever since. So now I have a nonprofit, a legal entity nonprofit, and I have a podcast with me and 2 more brothers put together. My co-defendant and brother Cyrene was called 100 Years, and that represents or tells about the time we did together, because we all did approximately 30 years. So that's a podcast.
How many of them I didn't bumped into?
you bumped into so many of them. You know what I mean?
I been telling them, right? I kind of downplay like me in prison, but just on some real shit. Can you describe me in prison? Like, can you describe my character?
Just like it is now. You was always smooth. You had your long hair. You was always smooth. You was dope. You know what I mean? You was all. And one thing I know about you, you was able to function with whomever you want to function with. That's one thing I know. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't because I'm from Sacramento, I'm this part. No. You was always somebody who people can talk to. And when I know about you, you was never someone who condoned the bad activities, because we all do what we do.
Yeah.
But before us, dudes had to get on black on black things of that nature. You know what I mean? Because like you say, the SAC area, the non-assist area was right next to the Bay Area table. Remember, just the table right there. You know what I mean? So we had our little incidents, our little skirmishes, but the next day we all was cool.
On the basketball court.
On the basketball court, whatever. We all was cool. You know I'm still in contact with Dynamite. Damo B hit me. Everybody, man, my boy Scratch, everybody.
You know who's down there in the comments? You see that Glenn Elders right there on the comments?
I can't see it.
Oh, you can't see the comments?
No.
Oh, well, shit. Remember Chief?
Tell my boy Chief I said, what's up? Chief just had a new baby too, huh?
Yeah.
It's two Chief. What's Chief?
I'm talking about Chief. No, light-skinned Chief. Light-skinned Chief was that.
Chief with the good hair. What's up, my boy Chief?
He said Chief with the good hair.
Yeah,
hey, what What about no good?
No, no good. Everybody, yeah, no good.
No good on
like so.
No good checking you out.
What's up, no good? Yeah, they always remember how we was up in there, man.
Man, look, I'm so connected to you. I remember when you cut your dreads because you was like, fuck that shit. I'm trying to go home.
Yeah, but mind you, I had my dreads before I went to the board.
So I know you cut them.
Talk about that. Talk about cutting the dreads. Talk about that.
Okay, what it was that it was during the month of Ramadan because I'm Muslim. And so my partner of mine named Kevin Chapman here, good guy, man. Kev, we always talking. So I'm fasting. I was at work. It was hot. It was like May. I remember I went to board May 1st. And then so it's hot. I'm in an iron working class right by Weather, so you know how hot it gets up there in PIA. And I had a but I was telling myself, I said, listen, if you're trying to go to the society and get into construction, that's my thing. I was saying, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to become an iron worker, get into construction. My helmet kept falling off. I said, but also I want to be able to just blend in where I want to blend into. So one day I got off work. I said, if I don't cut my hair now, I'm not going to do it. So I got off work early, went to Kev's cell. I said, hey, Kev, I want a haircut. He said, what? He looked at me crazy. He said, no, you ain't finna cut your dreads. I said, yeah, I am. He locked inside the cell. It's almost yard recall. I had to get a CO to open up the door fast because if they didn't do it, I wouldn't have cut my hair. So he hurried up, cut my hair, cut it all off. And I came in, with a new look. Everybody was surprised. Everybody was shocked because I wore dreads for a long time. And so I cut it, and kept it pushing. And kept it pushing. No matter who thought about what. I was just concerned about how I was going to feel when I did it. Because when you have something for so long, it's like, wow. But I did it. But I told myself, I'm not going to cut it until after I go to the board. Because people say, man, if you go to the board with dreads, they ain't going to let you go. I want to break that stigma too. Let her know, yes, they will. Just have your stuff together.
So how did it feel like preparing to go to board? Like you got to tell these people, I did what I did.
Preparing to go to the board, first of all, if you're doing wrong, when you prepare to go to the board every day, you're going to be nervous. I was nervous. And even though I was a clerk and doing it, I was nervous because I had a cell phone. I was addicted to cell phones.
Yeah.
My addiction. Because women, whatever you want to do just to get connected to the society, whatever everybody do with their cell phones is what they do. I had to have a phone. So I had to worry about police cell searches, who knew I got a phone, passing it off. But at the same time, I went to the board 4 times. I got denied 3 times. I went in 2014, 15, and finally went home in 2000. Well, got found suitable in 2018. So 14, 15, 16, suitable 2018. So in preparing to go to the board, you got to go see psychologists. You got to go take all these programs, which probably wouldn't even connect to your case. They want you to take NA. They want you to take AA. They want you to take what's called CGA, Criminal Gang Anonymous. You had to take Al-Anon. So I was just taking different stuff. But one time the board said, you take a lot of stuff that won't even apply to you. So they want me to take CGA. So once I took CGA and understood what a gang member was, because even though, like I said earlier, even though it wasn't Blood or Crip, but I still was a gang member. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was a gang member, even though it wasn't Blood or Crip, because 2 or more people hanging together is a gang. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you go to the board and the board say, are you a gang member? You a gang? You say, no, we're a gang. Okay. Well, when you from this part of Richmond, do you hang with this many people? Yeah. Okay, go back and do some more self-help. So you gotta understand the self-help programs. And you can't just go in there and go to these classes and sign in and sign out and go to the board and think they're gonna let you out. No, you gotta go in there, explain everything what you have learned, articulate it fully with a clear understanding, and then you have to understand your cause and the factors. What caused you to commit your crime? What caused you to become the man that you are? Who were you as a kid? So you have to explain all those things and what contributed to your crime.
Don't they call it like cognitive?
You gotta have a cognitive understanding.
Yeah.
But you gotta have a cognitive understanding. What goes back another term, what they use is insight. And that's just having a deep understanding of who you are, of what you did.
Yeah.
So they break down the word, they take these big old terms, but just understand what this. Once you understand the meaning of something, the big words don't mean anything.
Yeah, but I heard they want you to have like a breakthrough. That's what they look for to send you home. Is like when you're able to come articulate one of those breakthroughs where you understand it, and that's what sends you home.
Yeah. For instance, they asked me. They said, "Okay, you was going through all this stuff, but what made you just say, okay, I gotta go shoot this person or shoot whoever did it?" And I told him, and I said, well, it was a hard thing to explain. But once I told them at this particular time, I'm with my girlfriend, my daughter's mom. When guys put up in front of home, my grandmother's home. I just put my motorcycle up and made some outlandish threats about blowing her home up, things of that nature. So at that particular time, I'm 17 years old. You know, I don't know what's going to happen. It's like 1, 2 in the morning. I'm scared, but it did not happen at that time. In my mind, I said, that'll never happen again. You will never catch me out of pocket like that. So that's when we see these then. So not knowing you can't deliver certain type of threats to people and not thinking something going to happen. And it's sad to say that it did, and I hate that it did. So, I reacted off of this. People saying what they're going to do or not. But we all kids. And not knowing what's going to take place. And I was one of the ones, okay, in front of my grandmother house, I'm thinking all type of stuff. And so things happen. You know what happened. I hate what happened. I apologize every day to myself. You know, when I'm praying, I hate the lies that I took. You know, and it's sad. And I'm going to tell these people every day, you know, if you can stop yourself from getting in those positions, in those circumstances, then do it. Because it ain't good when you have to hear about mamas crying, kids crying, and you know, in the society, in the communities, in the neighborhoods that we messed up behind this, behind that, instead of just saying how could we come together as people and talk it out. I wish every day I could have talked it out. Every day. Every day. And I had to explain that to the board just like that. Because it's that serious. It was serious 33 years, 34 years ago, and it's serious today. It ain't changed. And I'm 51 years old. People, mamas and aunties and brothers and their kids going by the fight, got to ask, what happened to my cousin? What happened to my uncle? So on and so forth. You know, and at my hands, that ain't cool.
Okay. Let me ask you this. I don't know. You probably can't answer this, but maybe you can explain. It's a lot of people that are curious about the people that didn't do the crime, but they got to go to board and literally say, yeah, I did it, but they didn't do the crime.
Yes.
What is that like?
I can't. Well, I got a homeboy who I grew up with. He just did almost 28 years. He caught his case in 1993, 94. And he did not do his crime. I know for a fact he did not do his crime. He came to jail 7 years after me. Just last week, he was finally found suitable for parole. I don't know what he had to tell the board this time because I haven't talked to him. But I know he was my cellie in 1999 and 2000. He had to go all these years telling the parole board I wasn't there. His crime happened in Richmond. He was nowhere near when his crime happened. And he ended up doing all that time. Never pulled the trigger, nothing. So, and I know his mom had to deal with that. His family. Of him being gone for a long time for a crime that he did not do. I know another boy who I'm with all the time. He had to go through the same thing. You know, and it's hard when you got to hear them stories. I'm like, damn, and you didn't do it.
Damn.
So that's deep, and you really gotta sit on that. And now you gotta sit on everything because now you faced with a situation, right? I say something, I'm gonna be a punk, I'm gonna be a cop, I'm gonna be a snitch, you know, this and that. But now I gotta go sit down for 25, 30 years, and cats still ain't gonna care about you. for doing all that time. They're gonna leave for dead. They ain't gonna look out for your mama, your daddy, your kids. They ain't gonna send you a JPay. They gonna take the collect call blocks off the phone. They ain't gonna do none of that. But you still gotta sit on your hand based on what people gonna think about you.
So do you feel like that's why people because people don't support you like that when you go away? Is that why they do the big celebration when people come home and act like they to try to make up for it?
Sometimes it could be a big celebration, but sometimes it could just be they might want a piece of recognition so they can be around you because you're a stand-up guy and did all that time. So now they call themselves represent you when you come home, but a lot of it be fake.
Yeah.
A lot of be fake. They want to pay homage. They want to pay homage to somebody who they never did some folk. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this here. Don't celebrate me while I'm doing my time. Have you been looking out for my mama? Have you been looking out for my kids? Did you pay them attorney bills? I've already done the time. So what's the celebration there? You know what I mean? Did you go to the neighborhoods while we're going times? Even when I send these messages out there, hey man, take care of this, take care of that. The good things, but not the bad things. That's what a celebration needs to come in at. Celebrate. Okay, if a person took a life, if a person went to jail for drug dealing, robbery, whatever, celebrate the positive change.
Yeah.
See, that's when we get it twisted. Though we get to celebrate the wrong things.
I totally agree with you because I feel like that. You know, like for me, I've never been to prison, but I know in going to college, I feel like that it's something that people never appreciate. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That like when people look at it, it's like whatever, you know, or like even being a veteran, like it's like one day out of the year people say like recognize that, you know what I mean? But those are things that you did to like not end up in situations like that. But then people that do that, they, you know, those are the people that get attention. Like, you know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like kids that misbehave. You have a kid that behaves and they kind of blend in and people just ignore them and they're like, this kid is good, you know, we don't pay him attention, but it's a kid that's hard-headed that gets, you know, whether it's negative or positive, they get attention.
Yeah, you call those attention seekers.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. You know, so they seek attention for the wrong reasons. For the wrong reason. And it goes back and just like you know, but just say for the sake of the topic, you had these young rap guys, right? And they talk about prison, glorified, they homeboys doing this and doing that, right? Who behind the walls, my homeboy, this, my homeboy, that. But is that really your homeboy? See, we gotta really ask ourselves, is it really?
But then is the homeboy wrong? The guy's wrong when he takes the money when it comes out of jail and he puts you in a video and says, here's $20,000 and I, you know, because I just got this money, because that's what you see these rappers doing now.
Right. And that's
called that be cool money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You got the be cool money, and a lot of guys. So now here it is. So now if you done a lot of time of incarceration, so you got these rap sheets, and if you haven't really been educating yourself doing vocational trades or preparing yourself to come home, or just don't really want to work, if you want to just come back out here and have a handout, yeah, if I got some homies in the rap game, that's easy. Okay, yeah, give me all that. They gonna take it.
Yeah,
they gonna take it and do whatever they need to do, because the money is there. It's
so
easy money.
So you think it's them taking handouts, or is it extortion? Because, you know, in some instances they call it extortion when these guys are, you know, taking this money.
Well, if you extort somebody, you know, I mean, it could be a side extortion, because a lot of dudes could just be cowards and say, I'm going to pay this dude because I know his reputation.
Yeah.
Or you say, I know his reputation. Okay, I might be the man behind the lyrics, but if certain people come back who've been gone, he or she may have the strength and the power to change the tide.
I mean, it's CB4. I mean, it's CB4. Think about the movie CB4.
So forget CB4. I'm talking about in real life. But check this out. Okay, CB4.
Yeah.
We ain't finna go Hollywood. Check this out. So I come home, right? Just say me. I come home and I got a brother, somebody who I know been rapping. He doing real good in the streets, right? Or whatever he may be doing. And a lot of people look up to him. But the people who he been mixing and mingling with, they foul, they ain't cool. But I might know it, right? But the people who he around, they don't really know what's going on. They just with the handouts. So you got this guy come out. Hey, man, y'all with this dude? So before you have a chance to do all that, he goes some hush money. Hey man, don't expose me. That's what happens too. You know, I ain't really that guy. It's the machine behind me. So yeah, that could be a form of extortion too. I ain't gotta say nothing, man. Just tell me up because you're gonna have those cats coming home, think somebody may owe them because they've been gone, and so yeah, you're gonna have a form of extortion, and you're gonna have people, but you also gonna have people who generally look out for their homeboys, just want to see them home, you know, and we should have that. If you're doing good, you got somebody coming home who's been gone 10, 15, 20 years, man, look out for them guys. Look out for the sisters because it's hard out here in the society. When I came home, I ain't really had nobody look out for me. I had a couple people give me $200 here, $300. All right, that's cool. I'm gonna take it because I need it. But I didn't ask nobody. I didn't ask nobody for anything. When I left society, I knew I had to hustle. I was a hustler then. But what I did, I changed my thinking. I changed my mentality. When I come back, I gotta have a program. I gotta have something I want to do. So I came into construction. I did about almost 18 months into construction. I had my car accident. You know, by the mercy of God, you know, it was the best in disguise. I had a car accident, not my fault. So I took the time from July to now to create my program, which now is a nonprofit organization. As I said earlier, I got two more guys, brother named Hamza, aka Patrick Scott, and Dante Gaines, right King. We together as three trying to push our podcast. So we doing some positive, you know. And what's
it called again?
It's called 100 Years. It's on you. It's on Apple. It's on Apple it's on Apple Podcasts and it's on iTunes and it's on what's called a dark network. But we're in the process of transitioning because it's new to us. But we're using it to spread the message. But it's also on my YouTube page, which is Motivated to Help Others.
All right, so we're gonna close this out, right? Send another shout out to No Good, man. Send another shout out to him.
No Good.
Hey, because you already know what he's going through to be a part of this.
Yeah. And I want to give a shout out to everybody who behind the walls, man. Y'all keep your head up, stay focused. And if you got any type of positive influence out here in the streets, man, send that positive influence back out here to the streets, man, and that stop all this killing, this funking behind the music, behind the madness in San Francisco, Richmond, Oakland, LA, wherever we may be, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's back east, wherever we from, let's do what we can as men, as individuals, and have these positive messages so we can get back, you know what I'm saying, to be human. We got to.
Straight up. All right. Shout out Ivan. I appreciate your presence. And
let me say one last thing. For those who don't know, go to my Instagram, Motivated with the number 2, Help Others, and it's on YouTube, Motivated to Help Others with the number 2. And look for the logo.
Straight up. And I see you down in the corner, Oscar. Good looking out for being a participant.
Yeah, Oscar, my boy Oscar come out there every day. Oscar stay out there.
That's right, Oscar.
Come on out
there.
All right,
man. I appreciate y'all. All right, Ivan. Next podcast, we're gonna have another surprise guest. We probably have one, but Fahim, you're welcome to come back anytime you want.
Hey, you know I like talking, so call me anytime. I told you.
Hey, we gotta get dirty on that.
I would have man. And let Chief them know. Chief, y'all see, I'm still sipping my Folgers. It ain't stopped.
All right, now. Appreciate y'all. Dirty Weather.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
It's all good. And
all good, man.
Keep the peace.
Go.
Thank you.